Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. That is to say, bless the Father, bless the Son. The Father's name is Yahweh. His Son's name is Yahweh Shai. The water to the elders and apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone, and double honor for their continual labor of love and service. Shalom, blessings and honor to you, sincere Akim, as well. The title of this video is called Ragnarok. If you've seen the movie, for those with a spiritual eye, a spiritual ear, who are aware of prophecy, the movie was on point with a lot of things pertaining to the Bible and Israel. Okay, the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and North American Indian. All right, there may contain some spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen the movie, maybe not watch this until afterwards. First off, the word Ragnarok itself is something that you should look up. And I pulled up one article here that I thought was somewhat informative. Okay, it's on NorseMythology.com, and it's you can find it in the Tales section under Ragnarok. Ragnarok, the doom of the gods. Okay, now 2/3 of the nation of Israel are doomed. Okay, but 1/3 is not doomed. Okay, and it is said in the scriptures that we are gods or powers. God, all God means is power. Okay, so in Psalms, should have been a little more specific in the search, but it's okay. It's gonna come up. Even the Lord, who the world calls Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai. He even quoted and said, ye are gods. Matter of fact, maybe the word search will pull up that quote instead. Hopefully. Okay. Possibly not. It's okay. We're gonna pull it up. Google does a better job with the search. Psalms 82 and 6. So let's go there. Psalm 82, down to verse 6. There it is. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Who are the children of the Heavenly Father? The Israelites, his chosen, his only begotten. Okay. Verse 7, but ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. And that's the state of our people now. We're like gods. Everyone looks to us for talent and labor and leadership, but they won't give it to us. They won't give us that credit. In the old days, especially in the ancient times, it was very well known that we were a powerful people because we were children of the Heavenly Father. He was protecting us because we were walking in his ways. Okay, but we're in the time where we are dying as men, just like a regular. You see, we're not impervious to anything. Okay, and fall like one of the princes. Okay, so as everything has a beginning and an end, so do we. Okay, but there's a separation between 1/3 and 2/3. Okay, so when you look up dealing with the two parts in the book of Zechariah, okay, this is the Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass, Salakia, that in all the land saith the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. 2/3, 2 parts. But the third, one third, one part, one third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third, the one third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. Yahweh is my Father. Yahweh is uh, my God, basically. Okay. So going back to this article or this myth, mythological story dealing with the definition. Okay. The doom of the gods is the name of the pre-Christian Norse. Is the name the pre-Christian Norse gave to the end of their mythical cycle, during which the cosmos is destroyed and is subsequently recreated. That word cosmos is something you should know about as well. Okay, so let's look up that word cosmos also, and it might be a surprise to some, but John 3:16 is where you're gonna find these words coming into play. Okay, for God so loved the world, and look what this word is here, cosmos. Okay, so let's look up this word cosmos. Cosmos. Okay, here's the usage. Here's the definition. Probably from the base of G or Greek 2865, an orderly arrangement, i.e., decoration by implication, also known as the world in a wide or narrow sense, including its inhabitants, literally or figuratively, even morally adorning world. So it's not dealing with the earth specifically. There's another word for that in the Greek, which is oikomene, okay? Because the world that it's speaking of here in John 3:16 is the world of Israel, the order, the government, okay? Israel is the apple of the Most High's eye, which you had a people before a place. Now in the movie they quote that um, their home planet or whatever, Asgard, is a people, not a place. Okay? And I think I read in here in this article that it was the same thing. A people. Let's see if we can find it. People. So there's a couple areas where the word people. Nutritional ray. No. So I just kind of read through this earlier, but um, this is true. You must have a people before a place. The land today known as Israel wasn't known as the land of Israel before. Okay, we referred to it as the land of milk and honey, and it was known to be the land of the Canaanites, and we took it from them. Okay, it was a promise to us to have, so we took it. The Most High took us to war to take that land. Okay. Going on a little bit further. Okay, so cosmos. So let me kind of go back to this a little bit. So cosmos, we're seeing cosmos, an orderly arrangement. Now you have another example of the word world in the New Testament. Um, I believe it's in Matthew. Let's see. I think it's I want to say maybe 24 possibly. Okay, let me see. Yeah, throughout the whole world. What is that? Matthew, yeah, 24:14. Okay, so when you go to Matthew's 24, verse 14, okay, it says, "In this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So when you look up this word world in the Greek, okay, in all the world, look at oikomene. Why is it different? Why is this different? Because this is dealing with the globe. You see how it's the translation count is used 15 times for world and earth, the usage of this word, but the definition itself, okay, land, i.e. the globe, the terran part of the globe, especially the Roman Empire, earth or world. So the inhabited, known, occupied space of land. Okay, that's different than John 3:16. This isn't dealing with the love of a globe, the love of an earth. This is dealing with the love of the nation of Israel, an orderly arrangement. Okay, in a narrow sense. This isn't used the same way that is. Okay, there's a very specific reason as to why it's different. Okay, which is the same thing here. Okay, prophecies are pertaining to the Most High's purpose. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and read all of this because it will take time. And I don't want to give too much of the movie away. I'm just gonna hit some of the key points. Okay, so what goes on with this as you read on, and I'm just gonna get to the point. In this area here, the Twilight of the Gods, I believe, is where it's at. So here it says, given the accounts of the destruction of the world in the Old Norse primary sources are immediately followed by accounts of its recreation. The assertion that Ragnarok describes the end of linear history is completely unfounded. A more sensitive reading of the primary sources makes it obvious that what Ragnarok describes is a cyclical end of the world, or a cycle, right? After which follows a new creation, which will in turn be followed by another Ragnarok, and so on throughout eternity. Now, this is somewhat true, except it's once this destruction comes, we're gonna have a new world, but it's the same Earth. Okay, it's the same Earth. Let me see where we go. Okay, the scriptures tell you the earth abideth forever. Let's see if it works. This fucking word search. Okay, there it is. So Ecclesiastes, not Sirach, Ecclesiastes 1:4 tells you, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. You see? So this destruction that's going to come is not going to destroy the world, okay? It's going to cleanse the world. Now, to understand that a little bit better, you got to go to the book of 2 Peter, start at chapter 3, and we'll start at verse 3 also. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust. And that's what you see now. Word is that Polite is he quit teaching. He's not going to teach no more. He got his money, he did his thing, he shamed his people, and now he's out of there. Okay. Verse 4, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? You mean to tell me a black man's going to crack them clouds? See, all this black power, but then you tell him a so-called black man is going to crack them clouds, and that's just the most, I can't get behind that idea attitude. So there's limitations to black power, So that's where carnality puts you. It makes you looking foolish. Okay, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. Okay, for this they willingly are ignorant. For this idea, in verse 4, it's a willingly ignorant idea. They're willingly ignorant of that by the word of Yahweh the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. It's talking about the creation, the elements. Okay, whereby the world that was, being overflowed with water, perished. This is talking about the time of Noah. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So this is, you know, you would call this with this word Ragnarok, it would fit this description, because you had the creation and a destruction. You had the creation and the flood, okay? And then Noah, okay, because life doesn't end. Noah kept life going, okay? And everything's being kept in store for this day and time. See, the word, by the same word, the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word kept in store, reserved unto fire, there goes that fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. And after this destruction to come, the world, one generation is going to pass, remember? And another generation is going to come. But the earth abideth forever, you see? Now, once this generation passes and the earth is cleansed with this fire, this is the last time that this will ever happen. Oh, well, how do you know that? Well, the scriptures, look, man, the scriptures tell you everything. Oppression shall not arise a second time. Okay? I probably spelled that wrong. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, that's not going to work. So you got to go back to Google. Oppression shall not arise a second time. Nahum 1:9. Yeah, okay. So boom, go back here. Yeah, they gotta fix this. You know, all these donations they want, and they can't even get their fucking word search straight. Salaki for my language. This is Nahum 1:9. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction, that's Salaki, I said oppression. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. You see? We've already had this oppression, the so-called white man in power. That the Ragnarok that's going to take place is to destroy him. Now, I don't know if they'll have the photo, okay, but it was basically versus I can't remember if the woman's name was. Yeah, it wasn't Hellcat. It was something, man. It was Thor's sister. Let's see if we can find it. I don't remember her name. No, not that one. What's the name? It's not Angela. Hela. Okay. Hela versus. I think that was his name. You know, the demon name, the name of the demon she fought. Basically, this city, this land, this place, Asgard, has a prophecy that that Ragnarok is going to come and destroy it, and it's a prophecy, that something that they see in their dreams. Well, that's not really too good of an image. If I blow it up, it'll probably just get blurred out more, but you pretty much get the idea of it. So what happens is he has to come to destroy her, which she is a representer. She represents Edom, or the so-called white man. Her power, her abilities, believe it or not, is the sword. She's like a blade queen. She can throw blades and swords out from her, and she goes to try to fight the fire, and guess what? The fire consumes her. Her blessing is the sword. This is how they got the 9 realms under their subjection. She was the weapon that brought everyone down by the sword. The blessing of Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, by war, by the sword, they brought everyone, the 9 realms, under their control. Okay, so this affliction is not going to rise up again the second time, because when this so-called white man goes down, that's it. He's down and out. He's not going to rise back up. The South shall not rise again. America's not going to be made great again. Okay, it's over. So Ragnarok has that movie has these points dealing with the fire to destroy, um, to destroy, and they constantly say it in the movie that Asgard is a people, not a place. And that's what was saved, because not everyone made it out of this place. The people, you did have some people die. They didn't really show a lot of it, okay, but the elect were saved out of it. The elect and the 1/3 were saved out of it, okay. And Thor was was their redeemer, their deliverer. Is representative of Yahweh Shai, and he's known to have long hair, but in this he got his hair cut short, man. He had lightning coming out of his eyes. He came with glory and power, man. He came with the glory and power, just like Yahweh Shai is gonna come with glory and power. Okay. So those are pretty much the main points. I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want the video to be too long. But those are some of the main points behind a Ragnarok. And I'm gonna finish this out. It says after which follows. So let me jump back. A more sensitive reading of the primary sources makes it obvious that what Ragnarok describes as a cyclical end of the world, after which follows a new creation, which will in turn be followed by another Ragnarok, and so on throughout eternity. Well, we just went over that. In other words, creation and destruction are points at opposite ends of a circle, not points at the opposite ends of a straight line. And this is how they understand it, and this is somewhat accurate, but it's not. And I explained that as well. You had the world which was created, and then the destruction with the water, and the generation that came after. Okay, but the earth still abides forever. Okay, the generation from Noah, all peoples came from him, from Adam to Noah. Okay, to Abraham, Isaac, and then the blessing resting on Jacob. Even though we all come from Adam, the chosen people are the Israelites. Okay. And now this generation, the vast majority of them are going to pass away by fire, and after that is going to be peace for eternity. So this cycle is going to be broken. It's not they don't have a full understanding. So with that, I'm actually going to finish up with the book of Second Esdras chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. The points in verse 9. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or even the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed, they have gathered faith for a treasure. See? Before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. The elect, man. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by no other. So letting you know the Most High is the king being, okay, of ultimate authority and power and creation of life and death. The scriptures tell you that the Most High does all these things. He creates life and death, good and evil. Okay, if evil or death is done in a city, is it not the Lord that hath done it? Is it not the Most High? Verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians. Esau is the so-called Caucasians. Okay. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Esdras, asked thou not? Because he was basically asking, what would be the parting asunder of the end of times, right? See? What shall be the parting asunder of the times, the Ragnarok? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he's telling him, look, Jacob, we're on the bottom. Okay, we're grabbing spiritually the heel of Esau, the so-called white man. Why? Because he's getting ready to come down, and we're going to keep him down, and we're going to get up on top, and we're going to stay on top. Okay? So with that, I'm going to end that there. Brothers should go watch that movie, and until next time, shalom.